I hope you see this. I don't know if you're gonna see it though, cause I just don't know. I hope you do though. But let me just say, I am so grateful that you made a Beyonce video. Okay, I watch you all the time. I agree about 93% of everything, every single thing you talk about, probably a little more than that. You are an amazing creator. You deserve all the things you're getting. I'm so glad you hit 1 million subscribers. May it be 2 or 3 million very soon and more, because everybody should hear yourself. Okay, so this is just some of my gripes with that video and some of the other videos you've done, and that's it. It's just that. Please hear me out. I know it's a little longer than like just a blurb, but yeah, I just really want you to hear me out. Okay, that's all. Quick hot take against the girl's TikTok that blew up, and everyone who thinks like her, right? Who had a critique toward Beyonce for, showing American imagery and being proud of it, right? Even though it's still glaring problems in race and things like that. It's like, that is the downfall of like these pro-black, that some are even still are calling for segregation. They were like, man, when we got, desegregated, that was the root of our problem, right? And just being like, oh, we need our own stuff, we need our own land. As black people, we need to separate and form our own, and that whole ideology, right? It's, for one, unrealistic in this country, and for two, it's just like people like that, they want all or nothing, right? Progress is toward, racial equality, and the little steps of, coming against racial injustice that do happen mean like nothing to them. Like, it doesn't matter, because I can go outside and still be called a nigga, forget this country and everything they ever tried to do, right? And I just think it's very unfair, and it's just again, you'll never be satisfied, and it's an unrealistic goal to have that, everything that was done wrong in the past can be fully, rectified to some degree, right? I still believe that, one day, I hope it happens, it deserves to happen, that yes, Americans who are descended from African Americans who were slaves should even presently still get reparations at some point in time. Absolutely, we are deserving of that. No matter how much you're able to amass outside of that, even if you're a millionaire, even a billionaire, if you could prove that your lineage has connections to, those who were enslaved and Africans, and just Africans in general who were here during that whole time, because there were actually a lot of people who were free. Of course, the majority were enslaved during, that time. But there were some who were free here. Even their descendants, even if they weren't slaves, they still should get reparations for all of this that was going on. Okay. Besides that point, it's unfair. It's just an unfair premise. We can be proud to be Americans, even if our leader is corrupt, even if our leader is racist, wrong, which kind of is the case right now. We can still be proud to be American, because we are American. That is our culture. And F.D. had kind of hit on that and said that, like, as a, devil's advocate point. It seemed like he was still leaning toward more of the original TikTok that blew up, the mixed girl's point of view, as in, because he also then said that Kendrick Lamar's performance kind of did the same thing. But just like, yo, we built this country. This is our country. This is our country. And just like the other TikToker he brought up said, like, American culture is black culture. It is American. Like, you cannot separate the two at this point in time. And he showed that. So he gave credence to that. But yeah, I just don't think that those who have that mixed girl point of view have a leg to stand on. They just don't have a leg to stand on, because you can't tell us that we should not be proud of our country. And absolutely, you know, showing all that full American imagery and being black is a statement in itself. That's what the overheads don't want, right? That's what the white supremacists don't want. They don't want to associate their Americanism with black people. That's the general consensus, that we aren't worthy of that, but we absolutely are worthy, if not more worthy than them on many levels, to be American. Okay, so we can be American. We can be proud to be American. We can show that we built this country and that we're for America, but it needs to start, you know, treating us with more respect. But even in that, even before that point where, you know, it's more so going in that direction of real change for everybody across the board, even in this area of even some racist tropes, maybe even trying to come back in the laws because of stupid people in office. We can still do all of that, be proud to be American. We can still show American imagery and rep American and be, I mean, even like if you go to Germany, right? Because Hitler did all that horrible stuff, where people asking Germans to not be proud of Germany, where they tell them like, oh, you should, you know, be a proud German or even speak that language because Hitler was so bad. Like that is the delusion, I even think, of the left, the far left people who want everything to be perfect, and if it's not like, let's burn it all, right? Or let's like say F it all, because, you know, in certain protests, like especially if they're like killing us in the streets or something and it keeps going and there's more cases, you know, we should like set things on fire. We should riot. Like, I agree with that too, right? But but even in the state that we're in now, where things are trying to move to a better place, where they're trying to put more stipulations on police officers, no matter how effective or ineffective that is, like, we can be happy about those little victories. We can still fight for those things to happen in large part, and we can be proud to be American. And, you know, I don't think that should be fought against, because I feel like if you're fighting against that, you're part of the problem of us even reaching that point, to where everybody's like, this is normal, like everyone is worthy of being a human and claiming the land that they live in, right? And so I just don't get it. I don't get the vehement anger, I guess, that's out there toward people like Beyonce or something who are trying to promote these good ideologies like, you know, black power and feminism and things like that, healthy, logical feminism, because everything's not 100% okay already, because everything's not fixed already. They're just faking for likes or to get people to like them. And so it's pointless, or, you know, they shouldn't be doing that because it's not all right, or they're just using it to make more money. Like, I just don't get it. And another thing I don't get is like the anger toward people like them who are like millionaires and billionaires. I don't get the anger toward this. Okay, so capitalism is toxic right now, right? Is horribly toxic. There's majority of people under this are suffering. Understood. Agreed. However, do we not want a world where we could profit from what we make? That, you know, even though we've made a thing or have a talent and do these amazing things to get paid by it, right? But if we get too much, we automatically have to give, if not half of it, most of it to other people because other people don't have it because they didn't come up with that thing you came up with. Like, I think capitalism is good because you can profit off of your work, right? You can make it big off of your work. What just needs to be checked is how you do that. And once you do get up into the higher registers, are you making sure that all the people that made your empire are taken care of? Are you making sure that these people are not only paid enough to live comfortably like you, but that but they get vacation, they get to have sick time, and they get to care about their lives and have great fulfilling lives? Like, for that part, all that needs to happen is that make sure that, like, this person who's like a billionaire, as long as they're making sure their people are paid, no one should have anything to say to them. And even if they have like their manufacturers in outside of a country, so they only have to pay these people who's working on their clothes and things like pennies, right? I still don't blame them for that. I think that's smart, because first of all, in these other countries, no one's going to the other countries and putting guns to these people's head, right? Not putting guns to the people's head. The people are choosing to work. But it just so happens that our money is worth a lot more than a lot of those countries' money. A lot more. So, you know, if they didn't work at your, what you want to call a sweatshop, right? They would be working at some other place, in their country, making the same or less. And most likely, I'm pretty sure it's less, because that's why so many people over there want to work at these sweatshops, because it's more than what they would be making if they just had their country resources. So actually, you're actually helping the people over there, even though to us, it's only $5 an hour. To them, it's equal to like $1,000 an hour. And I know it's like an off scale, but that is okay. That's fine. That's offering people another option to make more money. And just because, you know, it's American work, what do you think now we need to be paying them, like $15 an hour, $18 an hour in USD? So they're like millionaires in their country. Like, that's not, I think the anger from people profiting off the workshops that they have in other countries where they don't have to pay that much, but they become billionaires or millionaires, it's just jealousy. It's like, they're not making these people work there. These people want to work there. Obviously, they're working there because it's giving them some type of income that's probably at the same or better than what they would be making somewhere else in their country. I don't think there's nothing wrong with profiting off of that. Of course, there should be regulations wherever there's work. Where, like, if you go over there and they're working like 20-hour days, okay, now you gotta put some regulations and investigate them. Like, okay, you cannot work these people to death, right? You cannot. These people gotta go home. It should only be like 8 hours or at least 12 hours, and that's it. But that's like down to like nitty gritty, that nobody who has this anger toward these people who have these places in other countries are really looking into and investigating, right? And, you know, then it comes down to child labor. And like, we have child labor laws here, but if they're not in another country, right? And it sucks. But if the baby can bring in money as much as I'm making, so the baby, you know, the 8-year-old is going to be working next to me and bringing in just as much as I am. So now we have more in the house, more resources in the house. Yes, it's unethical, and these places should be more checked, and so they shouldn't let children work there. I think a reasonable age that they could be able to work is 15 or 16, which we do allow our 15 and 16-year-olds to work here, so that's not bad. Or even as young as 12. I mean, it would be great to just like put checks on everybody and make sure that they're also getting education and all this other stuff. But we can't do that in another country. We don't have anything to do with the politics of another country. Okay, we don't. And if we could profit by giving them the same or a little better resources than they already have access to profit huge over here, I do not think it's anything wrong with that. It just has to have a lot of checks and balances that are not there, and people take a lot of advantages that are not there. And yes, these billionaires are great, and they don't care that the people that's making them billionaires are making $12 an hour. So therein comes the problem that we need to be fighting against. But just trying to take down capitalism as a whole, it just, to me, I don't see another way that would be fair for people to make a living and profit. And like, I get like that you want everybody to have, you know, some form of equal footing as far as being able to be successful, right? But how does that even look? How does that even look without, you know, discrediting people's inventions or talent and telling them that there's a ceiling on how much they can make, because most of what they make, if it's in the excess, has to go to other people, because you can't have more than a certain amount, because then you're taking from others. That's crazy. I mean, I haven't had a lot of socialism debates about capitalism and other like viable options that work. So yeah, if it's a better way, I definitely want to know about it and research. Okay, it's a better way, but I just think the way we have needs to be fixed dramatically, but I don't think it needs to be kicked out and fought against, because it's just like, what is the really, you know, honest alternative? The alternative, like, even, you know, YouTube people who get amassed, and now it's more accessible to everybody, so like a lot more people can be a lot more wealthy because of social media, which is an amazing thing, right? But then, so now is it going to affect y'all, those who make great videos, who get millions and millions of views, so you're getting thousands and thousands of dollars? So I mean, do you want to cap on your stuff so that once you make a certain amount of money, now everything you make on top of that has to go to other people, even though you're the one who put in the work to get to the millions you're going to make, because you made that amazing video, you put in the work, or you paid the people to edit it so that it's, you know, that successful. It's just like, if we're saying F all capitalism and get rid of all capitalism, then you're saying that at some point you want somebody to control the money that you even made to feed yourself so that everybody can eat. And I just think that if more people were more generous, and so they wanted to help others, so they put they on their own merit put the excess money that they make to use to help others, and they did that so often that everybody is good. That's what we should be fighting toward. You know, fairer wages, fairer things within the capitalist system, and more people being more about the community. So voluntarily giving money if they make so much to others or toward other goals or projects that we have out here to help the communities. That's what we need to be fighting against, not just tearing down all capitalism and F America because it's still racist. Bro, are you kidding me? Have you went to other countries? If you're in America but you're like F America, like, the audacity of you. Like, do you understand all the benefits that you experience by being in America? Yes, we can still fight against the horrible injustices and fight and try to get people to see humanity and not make these horrible decisions that's going to hurt us as a whole, as a country, right? We can still do that 10 toes down, do it more, right? But just to say, well, because this is happening and it's in the leaders and the government of America, you're F America, then go move to another country. Denounce your American citizenship and go become a citizen in another country and make your videos from Thailand. Okay, we are afforded so many benefits from being over here. We have so many advances and so many nice things to take advantage of here and resources here in America. We should be proud to be American, and we should be happy that we're here while also fighting against the injustices. But we just can't then attack everybody who's just like for America. They're doing what they need to do. These rich artists are actually talking about the injustices with their art. That should be, we should be celebrating them from the ends of the country. Like, yes, thank you for getting up there and still shouting us out. The fact that Kendrick literally had American flag of black men to highlight that black people built the country. The fact that he shouted out 40 acres and a mule. This is bigger. We still are owed that and said that in front of the president. Like, how can you be mad at that because he wasn't like, F America, America really don't like us, and you know, this is like, what did you want him to do? He did beyond what was expected, right? As far as shouting out the struggle, right? But you know, still putting on a great show and being respectful and I just don't understand what people want. I don't understand what these leftist people what do you what? We're doing all the things. These things are happening very slowly, but if you want faster change, the answer is not attacking people for just being proud to be an American and or shouting out feminism or black power just because they profit from a system that still has these issues. It's giving jealousy, it's giving you don't know what you want, and it's giving we're never going to move forward if y'all keep biting the feet of people for many petty things that have nothing to do with the actual struggle, or actually helping the struggle in some ways, but you're still critical because it doesn't look exactly how you want it to look. That's crazy to me. And that's all I want to say about the video. If you made it this far, I really appreciate anybody who's watched this. Thank you for making it this far. But the last thing I just want to do, if FD does see this, or I am just, you don't know how happy I was, how fast I clicked on that Beyonce video. I am elated. I was so happy that you were describing her rise. You know, I also appreciate the relevance you were trying to draw to it to keep certain people interested, because I love Goku too. So I love anime. Yeah, I'm partial to sports, so but I do stick when you make a sports video. I stick around because it's you. I do, even though I really don't care that much. You're making amazing points about it that do, you know, feed what I like, which is like justice for all. So you're always talking about something relevant with sports, and I stick around when you talk about it. I'm gonna tell you that. But I really enjoyed the correlations you drew, and yeah, Beyonce was definitely Goku. I really, really enjoyed the whole video, and thank you for the last portion of the video. Thank you for addressing this biracial people aren't black mess. It makes me so angry. It is so stupid. It is so stupid. Thank you for calling that out and addressing that. I appreciate everything you make. Thanks for this time.